Hello everyone, so I just wanted to make a commentary piece on a video made by Mr. Cheswick about a guy called Craig Fight the Flat Earth. He's a globe zealot who basically has set up a channel dedicated to attacking and harassing anybody who's questioning the globe. For example,
Oh, and by the way, the edge of the universe from our perspective is about 14.26 gigaparsecs or 46.5 billion light years.
very interesting perspectives. Anyway, Joe Mama is somebody who has a YouTube channel. He's left a comment on Mr. Cheswick's video, and it's quite important, I think, to point out. It's quite long-winded, so bear with me. I'm going to read it first, hopefully without prejudice, and discuss it after. So it starts with, I'll never understand why these new professional globers don't hang out with each other and just talk about the wonders of the spinning blue marble all day, instead of wasting their time with unsophisticated flat earthers. I honestly don't have the urge to find a globe earth site, in brackets, why is there even such a thing anyway? It's like having a rain is demonstrably wet channel, and spend my precious hours arguing with strangers on their channel about something that is supposed to be scientific and factual. Why would grown-ups start a bunch of Earth is a globe channels in the 21st century? Does this make any sense? Please give me a comparable example of anything like this. These professional globe lovers randomly show up at flat earth channels and just start pasting a bunch of stuff from textbooks, yet they can never speak to it intelligently. They read scientism books to us without even understanding what they're saying. It's one bad attempt after another when you watch these guys, to the point that it's truly comical. If you ask them why we're able to see things at distances that would be impossible on a ball, they answer with the quadratic equation and say gravity. How many flat earthers have they converted back to the globe? None. There's no such person. Millions of otherwise normal people in every walk of life and profession have woken up and jumped off the spinning blue marble, onto a flat and stationary earth, and all stayed there. Apparently everyone lost their mind at the same time except these globe saviours. Real scientists wouldn't waste their time with us, and I respect their choice to stand on their beliefs. The longer the indoctrination process, the firmer people hold on to their shingles and degrees of certification and accomplishment. No new information is allowed in when they have tens of thousands of hours and dollars invested in the lies. So why are all these overnight globe geniuses that nobody ever heard of suddenly putting their Super Bowl capes on and flying in to save us from ourselves? What other heroic acts have these active new pro-globers performed in their lives? Examples, please. Some alternative uses of their time might be to go out to reptilian shapeshifter sites and to try to set them straight. Why not start a don't text and drive channel to help out the new drivers out there? Maybe a tutorial channel on how to set up a budget, change a tyre, choose the best phone plan, how to apply for scholarships, replace fuses in your car, give relationship tips, or anything that actually helps people. Go to the old folks home and make someone's day, volunteer at Suicide Prevention Phone Centre, pick up trash at the beach, Big Brother Sister programme, maybe call your parents while you still can, and spend an hour with them. No. Defending the globe model is top priority for these guys because people simply aren't able to think critically for themselves on this clearly critical issue. Fuck the needy. Let's obsess and attack the recently awakened. If flat earthers are clearly lost and pro-globers don't like us, please stop trying to save us and go away. Seriously, why do they insist on hanging out with us? Why start a new career defending the 500-year globe theory against a bunch of FE fringe lunatics? Where are the globe conventions and globe meetups this year? No such thing. Why not? Nobody would go. The natural response would be to have a laugh at us and go away to hang out with their smart friends and families, but instead they obsess and start globe channels. They shill flat earth channels, sites, behind stock accounts all day and night, and they work on shifts and say the stupidest things half the time and play death the other half. Nothing these frauds do makes any sense in the real world. Go play video games, go hang out with your kids, play soccer in the street with the neighbours' kids, volunteer at the animal shelter, serve food at the homeless shelter, Boys and Girls Club Aid, read books to the kids at the library, hospice, or any of hundreds of healthy and helpful possibilities other than obsessing on people that have discovered an important truth and are running with it. They need to get a life outside of ours because it's too late for them. I've heard it said that if you're watching someone argue with a fool, it's hard to tell which one is the fool. Tell me who the fool is here. The person that got tipped off and researched and discovered the truth about their cosmology and ran with it? Or the person that has now dedicated their life to obsessively hanging out with these people that they dislike, apparently think are lunatics, and that they completely disagree with? Think about it. The last 100 new people in their lives that they commented to are all flat earthers and they despise them. Is this a normal way to grow your social circles? Or are ordinary people more likely to find like-minded others out there and have normal, healthy chats that sometimes lead to friendships? Watch out, professional globers, because your kid's bus driver and teacher, your lawyer, the soldier that just walked by, your neighbour, friend, healthcare professional, Uber driver, co-worker, your contractor, bartender, church bells, your favourite athlete and actor, your barber, your favourite checker at the grocery store, your kids' coaches, the pilot up front, your waiter, someone in your immediate or extended family, all believe in the flat and stationary Earth model. The shadow flat Earth community is at least 10 times larger than those that are vocal about it currently. Flat Earth is the fastest growing movement both by numbers and percentage, and its exponential growth is about to get even faster and larger. What will these pro-globe lovers do then? They'll jump on board Flat Earth, of course, because they've already proven that they run with the herd instead of doing their own critical thinking, and of course, we will welcome and congratulate them. Groupthink is dangerous, and they need to snap out of it soon, because that's how we got into this spinning globe-line mess to begin with. We all believed in the globe model once because we were all lied to by the same people, read the same textbooks, and watched the same mainstream media programming. It's really time for everyone to stop fighting the truth and to help unite people that have been divided in so many ways over the years. We are all one body of beautiful souls that have been controlled through division, deception, and propaganda, and we have the power to take back our amazing world if we organise and follow our natural instincts with each other. It starts with me. And it starts with everyone that has a vision of a better world that isn't run by psychopaths that want us held down and away from our individual and united potential. I ask all of you that are in the business of keeping lies alive that you can have a few more shekels in your pocket to please reconsider your position and allow the truth to be unobstructed. At least sideline yourself for a while and let some child 100 years from now live in a place that we can only imagine today. It's right in front of us, it's unstoppable, and it's awesome. Peace. Okay, so what do you see here, people? Do you see a very well thought out, well written comment? Or do you see some dubious comments and claims being made in here that are cause for serious concern, particularly considering that this individual is articulate and you can't put these things down to stupidity? But let's have a look at Joe Mama anyway and see what the channel's saying. So 33 subscribers. Ooh, be scared, everybody. Videos. No videos. Playlists. So we have a little bit of something, a little bit about Flat Earth. There's a pizza dish for you. Channels, no channels, and the channel started in 2006. Nothing against Joe Mama personally. I can only go off of the objective offerings here in the comment. But I'm going to go through and read through and just point out things that I have worries about. So he mentions how these people like Craig here setting up globe channels. Why would they waste their time on unsophisticated flat earthers? Now I know he's putting it in context there, maybe from Craig's perspective, that he considers people that question the globe to be unsophisticated, but nonetheless it frames the rest of the comment in that tone, and later on he provides reinforcement for that by suggesting that the people who believe in a globe are smart and that their families and friends are all smart as well. So as we go down here, he's talking about how why would somebody say a globe Earth site? Why is there even such a thing anyway? You know, it's like having a rain is demonstrably wet channel. Now that's for me a false equivalence, because on the one hand, rain or water being demonstrably wet is a clear fact of your reality. It's self-evident. It's something that you can demonstrate, and through your sense of touch you can feel. So it's something you can verify for yourself. Whereas the globe Earth site, on the other hand, the globe Earth being a religious idea, a concept that has to be believed in, it's not demonstrable. The claims aren't verifiable and falsifiable. Most people don't even understand the claims that are being made with regard to the language that they're using to describe these nature-defying absurdities. So just to break that down again, he's using a false equivalence there between between the globe Earth, equating it with a fact of reality. Now that's kind of reinforcing the globe Earth, if anything. It's very cleverly done and subtle, but I need to point it out anyway. So why would grown-ups start a bunch of channels? It doesn't make any sense. Good point. And then he talks about how these professional globe lovers randomly show up at flat earth channels, just start pasting a bunch of stuff from textbooks, yet they can never speak to it intelligently. So he talks about them not even understanding what they're saying. Now, they understand the scientism that they're reeling off. That's their rhetoric. Centuries of experience at spewing this utter garbage, these meta programs, things that can't be verified and falsified by the common man, that do require belief. So Yeah, he's referring to almost engaging in a debate with these people with their own rhetoric is a good idea, and it's easy nonsense. You shouldn't even be engaging in debates with these metaphysical lunatics in the first place. Reality is not up for debate; it's singular. So he's talking about them being comical and how they come back with silly retorts, and he says here there's no such person that's ever gone back to the globe from being interested in the plane Earth and the level Earth. Well, I mean, you could always find somebody who could say that, you know. Would that blow the whole thing apart if you can find that one person who could say, listen, I changed my mind? It's a bit of a weak, very, very weak premise. Um, so, and this bit really worried me here, where he talks about real scientists wouldn't waste their time with us. Now, there's that's layered there because he's talking about he's also placing science in the hands of an institution of religious bullies, and he's removing it from the individual, which science belongs to the individual, not some institution. But he's also saying the real scientists, which infers that the people that are pushing this pseudoscience quackery, they are real scientists, and the people who are challenging their nonsense are the fake scientists, I'd assume. So again, you know, there's a very clever framing of things in a particular way. It's subtly done. And then here he goes on to say that he respects the choice of these people to stand on their beliefs. Now, I don't respect that choice because look at the consequence of that choice of people to stand on their beliefs rather than to examine their beliefs, to critically examine them. You respect them for not critically examining their beliefs whilst they cause untold problems and dysfunctions in other people, passing on a mental illness, a virus. A belief is no good, it's a substitute for knowing. And you're happy and you respect people that choose to pass that on to others. Well, I think that makes you highly questionable. That's just me. That's how I see you. So then he goes on here, talks about the indoctrination process. How it makes a very good point about who these people thinking they are, superheroes. Give some examples of their heroism. Give some good examples there of how else they could use their time, which would be fantastic. Some very good examples. Then he talks about how none of this important stuff in life is the priority. It's defending the globe model. So great point there. And I think there's some. So I think there's maybe a degree of kind of mimicking of sarcasm that some other people have written on here. I've not seen Joe Mama before personally, but yeah, as the comment continues, he talks about the globe conventions and meetups and how nobody would attend those and they don't exist for a reason, but people will be going to the flat Earth conventions, and I think that's highly questionable because at these flat Earth conventions, from what I'm seeing, I'm seeing and hearing people with a herd-like cult mentality, adopting religious beliefs into concepts like ice walls, domes, maps and models, strawman misrepresentations of the objective facts, and they're running with it, and that's very, very dangerous. I think you're not obviously highlighting any of that, and that for me raises a concern about your discernment and your ability, particularly when your comment is so well written. Haven't you given this any of your consideration before? If somebody's pushing a strawman map of a dome and an ice wall, they're telling you it's only you exist within a certain area and this is where you're supposed to be and everything, you should just stay in here. There may be other areas on land and access to it, other places perhaps we're native from. Maybe people are there now that don't know we're here. Maybe there are other people that don't want us to go there. Anyway, all of that stuff is open to possibility, and you're shutting it all down by pushing a misrepresentation of a map and a model, and by proxy you're supporting the conventions. It's a concern. So as he goes on, he mentions about how these globe zealots, they obviously are about obsessively and they're misrepresenting and lying, but you're not talking about the misrepresenting aspects because you're partaking in a little bit of that yourself, it seems. So he talks about how nothing these frauds do makes any sense in the real world. Go play video games, go hang out with your kids, examples of things that people could be doing. So then he mentions if you're watching someone argue with a fool, it's hard to tell which one is the fool. Tell me who the fool is here. The person who got tipped off and researched and discovered the truth about their cosmology and ran with it. What is the truth about your cosmology, mate? I mean, there's lights in the sky, okay? But I don't live there. You don't live there. We don't know what they are. Well, I can't speak for you, but I don't know what they are. I'm concerned that you don't admit that you don't know what they are, because neither of us have been to them. We don't know if they're physical things, where they are. what the substances, if any, they're comprised of. So stop talking absolute shit, man. You don't know the truth about that. Your cosmology. Fuck off. Anyway, yeah, so why would these people run around and, harass people they despise and disagree with? Good point, great point. And you see how it's kind of a bit of a shit sandwich. So there's really good points, and then there's a really shit point, and there's a really, really good point. And it's up to you, the individual, to go through and pick it out. So here at this point, he mentions how there's a number of people who are waking up, and they're all these soldiers and your taxi drivers, your co-workers, your church pals, etc. Now, that to me reminds me of what Mark Sargent was doing in the Behind the Curve mockumentary, talking about how he managed to get through airport security without being checked. And that would be a concern and something that should be highlighted. And I'm sure authoritarian insiders and militarists and these types would have a keen interest in understanding how any organised groups are operating, particularly when they're spread around various establishments. So yeah, he's talking here about how all these people all believe in the flat and stationary Earth model. Now, again, beliefs have nothing to do with objective facts. The objective world isn't dependent on beliefs. So it's a massive misrepresentation of a fundamental fact. And then he talks here about how it's a model. I mean, what model are you talking about? Is this the model that's being pushed at the convention? Are you selling this to us here? Are you a salesman? So then he goes on and says here, the shadow flat Earth community is at least 10 times larger. Yeah, this is selling it to me, mate. 10 times larger at least than those that are vocal about it. So the numbers are growing. Stay apathetic, stay passive. Somebody else is going to come along and sort it out for you. There's going to be a big critical mass eventually. Just sit in your chair and wait for it to happen. Again, it's disempowering. It's the fastest growing movement. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So... And then he attributes the herd mentality to the people who are sticking with the globe, and as if there's no herd mentality once you notice the globe claims are nonsense, and that's a seriously dangerous claim. There's a lot of herd mentality I've noticed from people who claim to be woke and spiritualized and all this stuff from discovering that the globe was nonsense. There's a lot of disgusting behaviour going on in this circus, in fact. But he attributes groupthink to just the people that are believing in the globe nonsense and assuming it to be true, like I was for decades of my life, and remember very well. So that's dangerous, because obviously groupthink is prevalent, and the risks of groupthink are prevalent in these flat Earth conferences that you're backing, and you don't seem to be coming with any balanced perspective there. You talk about helping people to unite, but what about the individual uniting and functioning properly first and foremost? Standing alone before they're able to stand in a group. We are all one body of beautiful souls that have been controlled. Well, when you call something beautiful, what are you calling ugly? I'd be really interested in knowing what's ugly then. Can you articulate what that is? But, I mean, is this place where we're supposed to be? Everything eating each other? Massive trauma happening to men, women, children, animals, the world over? And this is all amazing and beautiful, and just sit back and wait because the movement is growing, and we've got these pizza dish models with cake container tops on, and that's all going to fix it all for us. Come on, mate, get real. It starts with me, and it starts with everyone that has a vision of a better world. I mean, this is all very, let's drum up the euphoria here with it all. Again, and he misapplies here the deceivers, because there are people who are telling lies. They know it's not a globe, and they are pushing and rewarding people for spreading propaganda knowingly. And there are people who are just doing jobs, believing and assuming what they've been told is true, and repeating that to other people so that they go on and repeat it to other people. And we're pretty far in generation-wise in this cult. However far, we don't know, but certainly not going to assume 500 years or any of these claims I can't verify for myself. But yes, my grandparents, as far as I'm aware, their parents before them believed in this utter tripe. So yeah, stop blaming and pointing your finger at the common people and the teachers and the victims of this propaganda and indoctrination. Let's look at who is actually lying, the real liars, and how they behave. So yeah, I thought I would highlight it. I know this video is not anything spectacular to look at, and it's involved some reading, no frills, but no apologies for it. It's about the content, not the fluff.